In one of your previous sentences, you said, yeah, you only care about money, and all of a sudden you're 47, but then you didn't finish your sentence. I was hoping to hear you elaborate on that.
Sure. I'm sure a lot of people here who, let's say, have come into money, it's not as great as advertised for a lot of people. Some people love it. They like watches and Lambos and houses, and that's fucking rad. Like, mazel tov. Other people don't, and you start questioning what the fuck, right? Because when you've got nothing and you're on the come up and you've got numbers in your head, whether it's $1 million or 5 or 3 or whatever the fuck it is, it's fucking empty when you get there for a lot of people. And so, I'm just trying to make sure people are being thoughtful. They're just, much like what I just said to Marshall, like, life is pretty simple. Like, people play on legacy, on family, on money. Like, there's just a couple pillars. I just think in our space right now, and I know a lot of you have heard me rant on this, I do think entrepreneurship has taken a turn towards club promotion, and that's just dangerous. It's just dangerous for the people that are I don't give a fuck. It's dangerous because people don't realize they need to build a business, not a perception that they're good at business. I don't know, Because nobody's, when the market crashes, nobody's going to Vegas with you when you work at Bank of fucking America. I'm just trying to get people to be more thoughtful. Patience is important because, he's got more swag now. His sneaker game is stronger. Like, he's going into that time of his life where dumb fucking decisions are gonna be made because he's making decisions to make short-term cash because he's trying to arbitrage it for other things in his life. Like, why do I preach patience? Because it's the only thing that keeps people away from being straight fucking assholes.
That's good.
Thanks.
I like it. So what did your dad do? You talked about
I didn't have my dad in my life. Luckily still have my dad in my life. I didn't know my dad until I started working in a liquor store. Like, my dad left before I woke up and came home after I slept. Like, as a matter of fact, it's probably funny how I feel about you guys. It's fun to watch, because I didn't have that, But what my dad did do for me, ironically, is because I have that kind of salesmanship and charisma, I was completely full of shit. Like, I would be, everything I make fun of, subtly, I would be if it wasn't for my dad. Because at 14, 15, I went to that liquor store, and you would walk into it was called Shoppers Discount Liquors back there. I was 14 years old. I looked 9. You'd walk in and be like, do you have this product? And I'd be like, yeah, that we have, because I was already full sales kid. I'm like, we have that product, but I knew we made more money on this one. I was like, but this one's better. I had it. It was phenomenal. I'm 14. People were like, you had it? I'm like, yeah, it's my dad's store. I taste it. I mean, I don't think talk about making shit up. I don't think I said a real thing once. And so my dad took me and he taught me that. My dad thinks embellishing is straight lying, and he suffocated me over a 3-year period that really changed the course of my life. And I think a lot of my success comes from I have all the skill sets of that character, but between being, old country and really my dad really not allowing me to be that guy. So that's what he did for me. And I think that's what as a dad, you need to just keep watching him evolve. And when he goes into territories that you think are historically incorrect, not new ideas and doing new shit, no, tried and true fucking human dynamics that win and lose, that's how you try to guide it.
Yeah, one more if you don't mind. I'm sure a lot of these people probably have kids as well. So your dad was a powerful businessman, and you had a lot of ideas and passion as a young age. What did he do to not, how did you guys balance that? Was that decision of him making you stop sell baseball cards to come work in the liquor store, was that the right decision? Would you do that for your kids? I'm only asking out of curiosity, because when I hear that, I'm just very curious about it.
It's a tricky one, man. First of all, we were an insular family. We were an immigrant family. We didn't know shit. There was no internet. We didn't know anything. We literally just thought when you turn 14, you go work at the store. We were merchants, right? People like that. That cliche story. Just what it was. It was my 14th birthday. It was fucking time. My D's and F's in school weren't helping me with any compelling reason that I could get out of it. So, as far as how we did it, we fucking fought I fought for every inch I had, and then I got lucky. What happened was, when I came from college, my dad had saved up a lot of money through these years and started building a dream house for him and my mom. And he took that year off. And he was just not around. And that year I took the business from $3 to $10 million in sales. And that was the end of the debate. Nobody remembers the part where Michael Jordan couldn't get to the finals because the Pistons were beating him every single time.
Isaiah Thomas. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Guys, let me really unleash you doing more shit. Nobody remembers the losses as long as you have a win. And you know, like, listen, some of you know my stuff, and like, I'm starting to like figure out my own stuff. It comes down to 6 people: your mom, your dad, your siblings, your loved ones. You're doing so much shit based on their points of view on stuff you can't even imagine. You can unwind that, you're off to the races. It scares me how much I value my wife and parents' opinion and how much I don't at all. And in that balance, I win. On a macro, I value them. But on a micro, my decisions, not at all. You know, Jared, so you just gotta do 1 or 2 of them. You go 1 for 7, it's a lot better than going 0 for 0. Being an immigrant and always having a chip on your shoulder, you're always an outcast to begin with at some level. And I was a Russian immigrant, which was our major enemy when I was a kid. So I had some weird shit going on that I don't tell a whole lot because it's not as relevant these days, but there's a lot of parallels to whoever the bad guys are now. I was the bad guy. It was kind of weird for a little while. Number 2, my mom. Okay, my mom blind, like, I remember walking freshman year in high school. I'm 4'11" my freshman year of high school. I spurted in sophomore year. I have the worst fucking mullet you've ever seen in your life. I've got a backpack that I'm rolling with that's bigger than me. And I'm walking down the hall and I go, I remember this vividly. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not the best looking, awesomest dude in the world? Like, my mom had me so brainwashed. I'm being serious, on straight positivity, that like, that never went away. Like, my mom, if I opened the door for a woman, like, my mom was super smart. I'm doing the same thing. She would make, if I opened the door, this is a true story, Katie. I opened the door for a woman when I was 9 at McDonald's. That's the story. I went to McDonald's, a woman was coming, I held the door open for her. My mom reacted as if I won the fucking Nobel Peace Prize. And she did that about all the shit that matters, which is what makes me who I am today. 4th grade, Katie, 4th grade, I got an F in a science test. I needed to get it signed, because I guess that's how they used to do it. I don't know if they still do that shit. I flushed it down the toilet because my dad hadn't gotten to me yet. And then, like, I was like, but I was still a kid, so my conscience was still around. And so I just couldn't sleep, and I told my mom, and basically 3 weeks later, I was sitting in social studies 4th grade and said, fuck this, I'm out. And from that day on, I decided to fail every class, work on my business skills, and become who I'm gonna be. The biggest reason I'm obsessed with entrepreneurship is it's the clearest thing and most obvious thing to me that allows you to do the following, which is do what you want to do today, right? Like, waking up and being able to do whatever the fuck you wanna do is incredible. So the only thing that I want for my kids, like, from that standpoint, is the ability to do what they wanna do every day. Now, what scares me about that is they're probably gonna have that no matter what, because they're gonna inherit extreme wealth. So much so that I've really been having feelings. I used to make fun of Warren Buffett and Bill Gates in my head of like, you're gonna donate 99% of your money until, you know, it's funny, you talk shit until you live shit, right? Now I'm like, fuck, I don't wanna give these kids shit. Fuck them. Like, because rich kids have a huge disadvantage, because when I wanted Sega Genesis in 1989, my mom's like, cool, go get it, right? You know, like, when I wanted to go to a Knicks game, I had to sell baseball cards and shit, sit in the fucking, you know, like, fucking top row. Fucking Carmelo's coming over my Hamptons house to play with Xander. Like, it's fucked up. So I don't know what, but here are the things I give a fuck about. Number 1, more than anything, and I will kill them, murder, go to jail, they have to be kind. Kindness is the most important. Number two, if I ever see them even inkling, even a innuendo, even a subtle little joke of imposing my and my wife's wealth on somebody else because they think they're part of that, I'll break their fucking neck. And then number three, I will not raise them in the political correct environment we live in now. They know there is no such thing as fourth place trophies or participation prizes. So, now, if they want to be nonprofit, look, they're going to look at Daddy's Mountain and they're going to be like, fuck that. Or they might do what I do. My dad's things seem big. Mine's going to be a hell of a lot bigger, but like other people have made it bigger than me and kids have done this. They're going to look at that and they're going to say, fuck that. I'm going the other way. I'm building schools in Afghanistan. Or they're going to be like, fuck it. I'm going to climb that mountain. I'm going to stick it to Big Mouth. I don't care. I don't need my kids to be entrepreneurs. I just need them to be as lucky as my mom. I got D's and F's. Every immigrant got good grades in the 80s. There's a couple of people a little older here. There was no entrepreneurship. School. Good school. That was it. My mom spit in the faces of all those parents that made fun of my D's and F's and gave me air cover to be me, and it really fucking worked out. Not only for me, but the world became it, right? If my kids want to paint in tomato sauce, I will back them to the earth's end as long as that's really why they're doing it, not because they're doing something to like run away from something of that nature. So just blind support as long as they're kind.